I didn't get to talk about this last time. You had a birthday and you had a birthday party.
I did.
Pretty fun. It's actually the most excited I've ever seen you in your life.
Wow, that's a real.
You're like he just turned 43 or 53.
43.
You sure it's not 44?
It is 44.
Yeah. See what I did there? Co-host, making him seem like he's younger than he is.
You also said 53.
Yes, but I wanted to say 60. I wanted to say 69, dude. But we went bowling, and I give this guy shit, and we're always challenging each other. We've just started doing things where we actually compete at little things here and there, like golf.
Wow,
or something
it's
stupid.
not really a competition.
Hasn't been for him yet. But I quickly found out I will not be challenging this to my co-host to any bowling anytime soon, because this man was fucking magic in the lanes. There was a point during that evening he was playing two different lanes and he was getting strikes on both of them, and I didn't know what was going on. It's the happiest I've ever seen him in his life.
There's a YouTube video, 2 lanes, 1 ball.
It was pretty good. And even when things were going wrong for him, at that point, he was having fun. So you had your New Jersey on.
I did have my New Jersey on. Not to be confused with the state of New Jersey. I was not wearing that.
It's the Bon Jovi t-shirt for the New Jersey tour. But yes, that's the happiest I've seen you. It was a fun night, and it was fun to be around you like that. But I'm not getting anywhere near you with bowling ever.
Bowling's a guilty pleasure for me.
Yeah. I want you on my team.
And even then, I'm not that good at it, but I'm generally better than the people I bowl with.
And he didn't start out great, but you ramped it up pretty quick.
I told Jaden as soon as we got over there, I was like, my first game's not going to be good.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. You did say that, yeah.
Because that's always how it is. I take one game to warm up. Then once I get warm, then we're good.
Yeah, but it was fun, dude. I had fun. That was a fun night. It was fun just being around you for that night, for that, and to see you like that. And your extra special part-time son, Reese, he generally looked like he was having a fun time. And he's at that age, 14, 15?
Where nothing's fun.
Yeah, where like even if it's fun, they don't want to admit. But I haven't seen a true, legitimate smile on his face like that.
Well, and he's competitive too. So like he likes doing that stuff. And he's old enough to now be a little bit competitive at it. Like before, like bowling's hard for kids.
Yeah, and
but now he's big enough and strong enough where like he feels like he can do it a little bit and be competitive with it.
It's fun for like 2 minutes for everybody. But he actually looked like, hey, I actually like doing this. This is fun.
And I think both of the kids really like competing against Daniel at anything.
Liv's significant other, not this one. Because I will crush them. I don't care if they're my niece or my niece and nephews.
That's how we learn.
I will cut them. Not at bowling, because apparently I suck at bowling.
Not apparently. It's very evident.
I was pretty legit. I told you it wasn't good, and I told you I'll get maybe
back that up.
I maybe get 2 strikes for the whole night, and that was about. I think I had 2 strikes.
Did you have 2 strikes?
Mm-hmm. You missed one of them because you were so happy. I think you were like having one of your cupcakes because you had just finished having like 6 strikes or something like that. I don't know.
Something like that. When I was bowling the 2 lanes at the same time, I'm kind of sad that I was bowling 2 different games because I think I had 5 strikes in a row between the 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm. You got to the point though, because you were doing so well and having fun, and the party was kind of getting going because the food had shown up and people were finally getting their drinks because it was running a little slow. But you were like, "We're on a timer. We got to get this going. I can get another game in, so let's get this going." And I was just like, "Oh, look at him go!"
Yeah, it did teach me one thing. I don't want to go back there for bowling.
Oh no,
I don't want to be on a time limit. I just want to be able to bowl games.
Yeah, spoken like a true 55-year-old. But I could actually tie this into a word if you'd like me to.
Sure.
I did nothing when I brought the story. I have done nothing but spit straight facts. That's right, a word of spit.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was spit or straight or facts.
Facts, right?
Well, all 3 are slang. So,
all right.
So which is it?
Well, we'll figure that out after the music plays and you do our intro right here. Out there.
Oh, is that post edit that happens?
Post edit? I love that guy. He's a hell of a rapper.
No, that's Post Malone.
Shit.
No, he played for the Utah Jazz. No, that's Karl Malone.
Carl Malone?
No, he was the guy that was the cop and his neighbor was Steve Urkel. No, that's Carl Winslow. No, he was the tight end for the LA Chargers back in the day. San Diego Chargers. I don't remember where they were at the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's Kellen Winslow. Oh no, it's one of my one of my fraternity brothers. No, that's Kellen Flores. No, he's the old coach for the Chargers, I believe. That's Brian Flores. He's Canadian lyricist. No, that's Brian Adams.
I like that guy.
No, he was the second president of the United States. No, that's John Adams.
Oh, man.
Oh, right. Yeah. The host of The Daily Show. No, that's Jon Stewart. No, he was Captain Picard. No, that's Patrick Stewart. No, he played Putty on Seinfeld. No, that's Patrick Warburton.
Okay, that's pretty good, right?
So spit it is.
I was actually going to go with facts.
Oh, okay.
Would that be a flashback? I know it still gets used currently, but that it's been around for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think so, but it got more popular currently.
I guess I should actually look it up too if I'm going to.
I mean, it shouldn't be too hard. It's sort of like literally, except in this sense, it actually does kind of mean what it is supposed to mean.
I guess, yeah. For slang, it does, yeah. Well, this day and age, though, man,
basically it just translates in English to absolutely.
What does facts mean? An emphatic way to acknowledge the truth of someone's statement. For example, someone might say Nike is so much better than Adidas. That's not true. Adidas hires 11-year-olds and Nike does like 9-year-olds. So Adidas is much better. And if you agree, you could say that's facts. I'm going to get that out.
I don't know. Possibly. Listen back to it and see how you feel about it. But yeah, actually, now that you brought up the flashback thing, I think now hearing it wasn't facts. Like people may have said facts, but the flashback version of this would be truth or just true.
Is that on our list?
I don't
know. Facts a good word.
Facts is a good word, and I've definitely used facts, and I don't dislike facts. I do kind of miss truth now that I remember that it sort of replaced truth.
I think I still use true. I'll say true before I say facts. Well, before we get too far, we probably should mention Facts of Life from the 80s.
Sure.
Because we're known for 80s pop culture.
Yeah. And you had a weird crush on Tootie, so we have to talk about Facts of Life.
I liked Nell. No, wait, no. Nell was the other show, right? That was Give Me a Break.
I think Nell was the lady that...
Nell was the big...
Oh, that was Give Me a Break.
Yeah.
Who was...
Facts of Life, it was the little... It was... Well, she wasn't small either, but she was a white lady.
Yeah, redheaded lady.
Yeah.
Either way, that wouldn't have been... What was the...
My best friend had the biggest crush on Joe. The girl on the show.
The butch one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, if you know, that's...
Yeah, but I feel like that's just an incendiary word. I mean, she was... The word for it is tomboyish. She was the tomboyish one on the show.
And they played that up. And it turns out my best friend was gay.
Oh.
Is gay.
Oh.
So it fits.
Well, does it?
Well, if you're going to try...
Who was the blonde one? Blair?
Blair, yeah. The first Hilton.
First Hilton?
She was kind of like the first Paris Hilton of TV.
That's what you think?
Yeah, she was the snobby rich one, right?
I mean, yes, but cast into a show, not like actually a snobby rich person.
Yeah, but Paris would have grown up watching her, and then...
That's really what you think happened?
Sure, it's all connected. I just found out today Kanye invented all the music for the last 20 years. He says everybody since then has copied him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was listening to that Business Wars podcast that I listened to, and they had a whole series about Taylor Swift versus Scooter Braun or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Which also, let's have a real conversation here, people. If you trust any of your business with an adult who goes by the name Scooter professionally,
Yeah.
I think just maybe, don't back off on that.
He's just a human. He's one of the world's great turds.
It's like a William that's okay by going by Billy. I'm looking at you, Baldwin. Grow up already.
I think.
What I feel like is this episode isn't filled with a whole lot of facts. Also, what I think is funny about the word facts is facts, I think, got super popular when at the same time that fake news got super popular as a phrase.
You know what? I think you're right. Which doesn't happen on the show very often.
I know.
There's a fact.
Usually by the time I'm right, everybody's already asleep anyway. 30 seconds in.
See, now if I say that in my voice, they'll be wide awake. At least their lower regions will.
No, they'll be wide awake because they'll be like, oh my God, that guy's outside my window again.
30 seconds in.
Oh God.
You're welcome.
I just went 12 to 6. Flop.
Truly ain't 6-3. I was in the pool.
That doesn't even make any sense. What? Yeah, so I think that it got really popular around that fake news thing, which I guess then makes sense because we would have had to do everything we could to point out what was actually facts. Because I think that at the time we all wanted to point out what wasn't fake news. Somebody felt like everything was fake news.
Can you just,
spoiler alert, we found out down the line most of that fake news wasn't fake news.
When something bad happens to you or when you're wrong,
you can't just say that the other person's lying.
You just can't just say it's fake news. I've hated that from the get-go. From the get.
It's even more funny because, bro, not everything's news, so it doesn't have to be fake news.
And what sucks is there is technically fake news out there. Yes. But most of the people who quote that and say fake news are the ones who are quoting all the fake news. It's insane. So, but you're right.
Facts.
I started a part-time job around that time, and my boss was probably 21, and everybody that worked around me was like 20 or under, and they used facts a lot, and then they used fake news all the time because it was in the news being used by
the Tangerine Dream.
Yeah, the Cheeto Schmeeto. But you did just get a new puppy.
I did.
And his name is
Owen Patrick.
Awesome.
It turns out as we're recording this on St. Patrick's Day, because we know how to party, that his name is in fact very Irish. Not completely intentionally. However, my two favorite hockey players of all time are Owen Nolan and Patrick Marleau. And so I always thought that Owen Patrick sounded good together. And I never thought she'd go for it. And then she did. For a short period of time, it was possible that he was going to be Huey or Louie.
Why not just go Huey Lewis?
It came up.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Here's the news right here.
Oh, my goodness. I thought for sure
we had to call the entire rest of the family of dogs the news.
The news?
It's Huey Lewis and the news.
That would be the best. Till he goes solo. No, I thought it was for your unnatural love for Owen Wilson.
No.
And then aren't you a huge Neil Patrick Harris fan?
Listen, I'm a fan of both of those people, yes. But that's not why we named him Owen Patrick.
I like my story better. I think it has more facts in it.
Do you think that it has more facts?
Yeah, because nobody's heard of those other guys.
Plenty of people have heard of those other guys.
Who?
I don't want to say everybody that's not you, because that's not factual. That's fake news. But there are a lot of people that have heard of those guys.
Not in this room.
Baxter has.
All right. I'll give you that. He probably has.
But he's sort of a savant with things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you ever have was there anything that you would have bet money on that you thought was a fact and then you figured out later on in life that it wasn't?
Yes. When I was a child, I would have bet that vacuum didn't have two U's side by side, because that's not a real thing, but it is. I would have bet that lax was short for lackadaisical, which it is not.
Is it going to be all words?
Probably. But I was watching something the other day where somebody said lackadaisical and immediately went, "You idiot! That's a mistake a 12-year-old makes. Everybody knows it's lackadaisical."
Were you the only one in the room?
I was.
Shit, that's a fact.
I did get a lot of most of this stuff happened when I was a kid, or at least the stuff that I'm remembering right now. But anytime two people had the same last name, I asked my dad if they were related.
Really?
Yeah. Even when very clearly they could not have been.
I feel like I might have made that same mistake. Is that just something maybe all kids might?
And then it was funny because then it got to Barry Bonds had started becoming fairly famous for playing baseball. And I knew of Bobby Bonds. And I didn't even ask because I was like, well, every time I ask, he says no. So I just assume these guys aren't related then.
Oh,
but
wow.
He's Bobby's son. So
here's a fact for any new listener. There's a 1 in 5 chance if we bring up somebody, a celebrity, they may die within the week that this goes live.
Okay, so what are a few things that you could have sworn were facts but turned out to be fake news?
I used to think for fact there was no Bigfoot, and now I know there is. Or maybe that's the other way around. I don't know. I'm trying to think. There was.
I immediately regret asking you this question.
I was too busy. Honestly, I was listening to yours, and I started going back and trying to think. Okay, where am I going to go with it? But then I just got caught up listening to you, and I stopped thinking about what I should be thinking.
I got weirdly really sleepy.
Yeah. Maybe I should bring back that little squeak noise thing we used to do to cut our time.
No, I hated that thing.
But that'll wake anybody up if they ain't listening.
Yeah, but I don't want them to wake up. One of the gifts of my voice is its calming properties. If that puts people asleep, it puts people asleep. I'm not one to complain.
Hey, as long as we get that stream.
Well, I am one to complain, but I'm not going to complain about it.
And if they're on a streaming service, if they fall asleep while we are playing, our next episode should play.
Good news, car insurance companies.
We got that shit locked up.
This episode sponsored by Geico.
Sponsored by all of them.
Do you know how many crashes have happened while people have been listening to your podcast on the road?
God, could you imagine this? Just podcasting from Geico headquarters, just decked out in full gear, making millions. Because we're making them millions.
Look like goddamn race car drivers in our Geico one-piece suits.
I'll just wear the Geico the gecko lizard suit. I'll just be dressed like him. But I have to work on the accent though, huh?
No.
You know what fact tripped me out?
What's that?
That when you die, like you shit yourself. Like your stuff just goes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And shouldn't that be in the movies?
Should be in more movies. Certainly comedies.
Action movies.
Yeah,
like ones with high body counts, like Die Hard and stuff. Wouldn't that just be the best?
I'm just surprised that like out of all these things that you thought were facts and then turned out to be fake news, like one of them wasn't that it was Snuffleupagus. Or Snuffleupagus.
Because there's too much hate in our first season about that word.
Yeah.
It's in the 10 episodes.
What was the other one you shit the bed on?
It was Wendy Peppercorn.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm supposed to be the authority on the Sandlot movie.
The Lamborghini Contact.
It's the Contact.
3, 2, 1, Contact.
Well, how are you supposed to say it?
Countach.
That's not true. There is a Countach. That's such a racist word.
You're making it racist.
No. Well, how is that racist?
By you saying that's such a racist word.
I'm making it sound like, but doesn't it sound like...
It sounds like it could be, yes, but it's not. The one thing that I'll give you partial points for, that if I were to be proven later that it was pronounced differently, is that CH generally in the Italian language is a K sound instead of a sh.
There's lots of those.
Keep talking.
There's lots of those. There's lots of those.
I didn't say keep saying the same thing over and over again. That's so funny. If you put how to pronounce, the first thing that comes up is how to pronounce when, like the last name from Asian countries. Nguyen.
That's so weird.
No, it's not that it's weird. It's just funny that that's like the first thing that pops up. I'm like, all right, Google.
Are you sure that's Google's fault, not yours?
It's not my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Countach. Just like it says right there.
Told you. Contact.
Uh-huh. Wait, turn this up.
I'm going to find all the car videos where I've heard guys call it contact.
Countach.
Sounds even more racist when she says it. So you think we'll convince anybody to use the word fax?
Only if we can get them to also use a fax machine.
There you go. Totally spelled wrong, though.
I'm just a fax machine. And I won't work for nobody but you. Yeah, baby.
It should be, what word could you change from you that fits the fax?
What?
Because I'm just a fax machine and I ain't work for nobody, but it should be, instead of you, it should be something that has to do with the fax machine.
I mean, fax machines do work for people. Like, that's how they send information. Unless you're in office space, then the fax.
I was going to say, what's the greatest?
That was the copier, though. But
what's the greatest movie? Oh, yeah, it was the copier. So what's the greatest movie with a fax machine scene? But no, that was copier.
Oh, why are you even thinking about that? The greatest movie with a fax machine is Back to the Future 2. That's how he found out he was fired.
Really? I don't remember that. I'll have to watch. I haven't watched Back to the Future 2 in a while.
So he comes home. This is after they bring Elizabeth Shue, Jennifer, like 85 Jennifer, into the house. She sees herself, passes out. He comes in and his Needles challenges him to something, and he agrees to it. And immediately his boss from Japan comes on the screen and tells him he's fired. And as he's like whining about being fired, his fax machine spits out a document that says you're fired in like 24 pen. That was the funniest part to me, is like, it's 2015 and they were still using dot matrix printers. Like, they couldn't have faked a more talented version of a printer than that at that point.
And the fact that they wouldn't have thought of going past what over the next thing would be from a fax.
Do you know what makes
that was pretty high end.
Do you know what makes me sad?
Lots of things.
That I know that's called a dot matrix printer. Ugh. What a nerd.
Nerd alert. And that's hey, wake up. And that's why our people are falling asleep.
Nerd alert. You should cut that clip of me saying nerd alert the first time. The second time was okay. The first time I feel like I really sold it. And anytime that I say something that's super nerdy, you can just drop that clip in. Nerd alert.
No, I'll just have you going, Countach. Racist.
It's a mustache on a raccoon. It's Countach.
I hear your new puppy.
Hi, puppy. Are you breathing into the microphone?
Does that mean our podcast will have puppy breath this episode?
Yes. Now with more puppy breath.
Better than that beard butter breath we usually have on the microphone.
Whoa.
It's just me jealous because I can't grow a beard.
I dealt with that the other day at work. There was this.
That I couldn't grow a beard?
No.
It's a thing at work?
We talk about it.
Okay.
But there was another guy.
Gianna remembers me?
No.
Shit.
She also didn't meet you. So there is a guy that works at a restaurant that he's like over complimenting my beard because he can't grow one.
That's awkward.
It was super awkward. But what made it more awkward was like the day after or 2 days later, I trimmed it a little bit. As you can see, it's a little less full than normal. And he noticed it and said, "Oh, did you do that because I was talking too much about your beard?" And I was like, "Now you made it even more awkward."
That's way awkward weird. You should have been like, yes. And then did that slow backwards thing that Homer does into the bushes. Disappearing. Oh my goodness.
Actually, I should have just said, "Yep," and then just walked away on my
high five him.
My day. Sure did, bud.
Thanks, man. What do you think about my ass?
Is that also too hairy? I'll shave that for you too.
There you go. Look at the butt on him.
I bet he works out.
Yep. All All right. Well, facts. I mean, I guess it's I don't know how popular of a slang word
Just
it
the
is.
facts, man.
Really? All right, Dragnet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever watch that movie?
No, but for some reason I probably did at one point.
The movie was all right.
That was like the first of the Frank Drebin things, right? No,
Well, it's based on a TV show. But Dan Aykroyd they made the movie in the 80s or whatever.
Well,
it should have been a bigger hit, but
what was the show that preceded Naked Gun that was the Frank Drebin stuff?
Wasn't it just called Dragnet?
Oh, was it Dragnet?
Yeah.
Oh. So he was the one on the show, and then Dan Aykroyd was the one in the movie?
We're doing a show about facts, so maybe we should have our facts right when we're speaking.
Nah. Fake news.
Faux pas news.
That's what you do when you get a gift for your dad for Father's Day. It's faux pas. Police Squad.
Oh, yeah, from the files of police. How did neither one of us remember that? How did you not remember that? Nerd alert. Nerd alert. You think we could do that in unison? It'd be so cool.
3, 2, 1. Nerd alert.
I think if anybody fell asleep, that would have just woke him up. All right. Well, hopefully this mic isn't catching all that, but facts.
Yeah, I think we brought some facts to the party.
Tried to. Hopefully nobody fell asleep.
No, it's too late for that. Hopefully they're waking back up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they got a good nap.
What is like the guys who hypnotize you? What do they do? They all 3, 2, 1. They're back. With that, I'm Dan.
And I'm Matt. And hey, what does a chicken do? No, that's not a question for you. Anyways, when you put a person to sleep like that, then you tell them to act like a chicken when something happens.
All right. Yeah, you snap and then they act like a chicken.
Clearly, I've been driving all day and my brain is not functioning on all cylinders.
No, seems about the same.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Maybe you're just dumber today too, and then so it feels like it's leveled out.
You brought me down a little bit.
I didn't know there was a basement level.
Well, yeah, you found it.
Sure did.
On that note, it's this has been Hangout
with your slang out,
and I hope you stayed awake for at least 80% of it.
Facts.
Yeah. But have a good one, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Catch you on the flip side.
I got a joke. I didn't test it on you.
Okay. That is a terrible joke.
What's the difference between wallpaper and toilet paper?
I don't know.
That's gross. Not bad, right? Stupid because you didn't think of stupid like a moose.